G'day cocktail lovers. I recently discovered a new way of doing milk clarification. It involves using powdered milk rather than regular unpowdered milk. You do of course reconstitute the powdered milk. I did a whole video explaining it in detail. Short version is you bake the milk powder in the oven at about 375 Fahrenheit for 10 or 15 minutes till it starts to change color. You reconstitute it, and through some magic or other, that milk just spontaneously wants to separate. Where that comes in handy is traditionally milk clarification, you needed an acid element. And that's fine for a lot of drinks that have like citrus juice in them. It's perfectly natural. But it leaves you out of other ones, or at least makes them a bit weird. And I tried it with an old fashioned, but anyone who knows me would know I'm not just gonna do it once. Look out, it must be Milk Punch Monday! I mean, assuming I upload this on a Monday, or you watch it on a Monday. It's just a Milk Punch video, okay? I'm going for, I guess, the second most traditional boozy cocktail that seems suitable for this milk clarification. Old fashioned was my first choice. I'm going to do it with a Manhattan. The plan I had with this was simple. When you make a clarified cocktail, you want it to be about 4 parts of your cocktail to 1 part of the milk. That's still the ratio you want with this. So I essentially just got the reconstituted milk I had left over, measured it, and I go, okay, well that's 1 part, and so the cocktail will be 4 parts. And on the cocktail side, I'm just doing a fairly standard Manhattan recipe. I decided I'm going to use up some vermouth I've got that I think might be past its prime. It was a sort of medium Blanco vermouth which I barrel aged. It's very nice, but I've had it for a while. I think I should use it up. I'm going to split the spirit base between 2 Australian whiskies. They're both pretty high proof, over 50%. That'll come in handy when it dilutes. Flavour will carry through. One is a Solera aged whiskey and the other one is a rye whiskey. And so I think that's going to make for an interesting taste when I put those together and then add it to the reconstituted milk, wait for it to separate, and then pour it through a coffee filter to get that nice clarified result. Which I did, and it's an incredible color, this really bright orange. I quite like it. One of the differences between this method and the citrus method is less of the color gets stripped out of the drink compared to if you did it with a citrus juice. Still did take out a lot of color and did make it nice and clear. So now I need to chill this on some ice, give it a bit of a stir before putting it in a glass. I'm not going to stir as long as I normally would because it doesn't need dilution because the whey from the separated milk has already diluted it, but I do want it cold. And here we have our acid-free clarified Manhattan. Giving it a taste. That is weird. That is not what I was expecting. When I clarified the old-fashioned, it was still very distinctly an old-fashioned. This does not taste like a Manhattan to me, and I don't know where the weird taste is coming from. I don't know if it's because I used some kind of exotic whiskies, or was vermouth past its prime? This is not like spit it out in the sink awful, but it's definitely weird. And I made a fair amount of it. It's time to improvise with some flavor enhancers, I think. I'm gonna try just a bar spoon of sugar syrup and make a mess while I stir it in there. Sweetening it helped. I mean, it probably helped. It's still distinctly weird. The other flavor enhancer you can use is salt, saline. Because somewhat counterintuitively, when you think of cocktails, you think, oh, I don't want it salty. It won't necessarily taste salty, but it'll bring some flavors out. I'm going to get a little creative. I have these Japanese bitters that are very umami flavored. So this is not saline solution, but it is savory, and I think maybe that's what this needs. I'll just do a couple of drops. Give it a little stir again. That's what it needed. It still does not taste like a Manhattan. It's much nicer to drink now though. I would not have known without following the instruction of people wiser than me that a couple of drops of saline can make all the difference. It still doesn't taste like a Manhattan. It's still an unusual drink, but I know how to make it more palatable now. A couple of drops of saline. It's an adventure. The whole thing is experiments don't have to be 100% successful. It's something about exploring. And there are quite a few variables in here that could have contributed to this coming out so weird. Whatever, I've managed to make it a quite palatable drink if unusual, and it's definitely unusual, and I'm definitely going to try more of these style of milk clarified cocktails down the line, just because I love experimenting. I'll have to think on what to make next. Feel free to give me suggestions on something you think would work well with this. In the meantime, I am going to finish this off, and I'm going to wish you all the best and hope to see you again sometime soon. Until then, I will say cheers.